What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Stout Out Show, your one-stop shop for all things MMA bets, breakdowns, and predictions. On deck for tonight's show, we have UFC Fight Night 278, aka UFC Vegas 118. In the main event, we got Gabriel Bonfim taking on, remember the name, Belal Muhammad in the welterweight division. But before we get into that, we're going to break every single fight down, all the way from the prelims to the main card. And of course, if you like what you're seeing, you like what you're hearing, like, comment, and subscribe. Drop some comments in the comment section. We are 66% on the year and only getting better. All right, let's get into it. All right, guys, our first fight up in the night is going to be Ketlen Souza taking on Ariane Carnelossi. Carnelossi is your plus 220 underdog, while Ketlen Souza is your minus 275 favorite. Souza's 3-3 in the UFC. She's coming off of a nice unanimous decision win against Bruna Brazil that happened back in February. What I like about her, she's got elite finishing instinct and good KO power. She's 8 out of her 16 wins come by KO or finish. She's really good at not telegraphing her punches. Good use of her combinations. Doesn't like to stick to one strike in particular. What also is noted I liked about her is she's got good athleticism and good transition speed. Very good for explosive movements in terms of her opponents have a very hard time timing her transitions, whether it's going to be striking or takedowns, okay? She transitions super, super good. Also, what I did notice is she tends to attack the body a lot too. Targets the torso a whole bunch. Really not going for like highlight haymaker head kicks. She knows how to slow her opponents down. Very, very intelligent choice when it comes to doing that in strawweights. We're going to eliminate the momentum of your opponents either by getting you in some rib shots or wearing down your legs. On the negative side, she does have some submissions on the ground. She's been submitted twice. That happened back. Actually, Karina Silva gave her a knee bar, but that happened in the first round, I think. So got to watch out for that. And then what I do not like about her is her scoring output, and that kind of gets to the level of her consistency. Both in 2025, she suffered 2 split decision losses. One was to Angela Hill. That happened in February, and the other one was to Piera Rodriguez. It's not exactly that she's just, she's not getting her ass kicked, but she's just losing the rounds, and she's not putting enough volume and enough damage on her opponents to, sway the judges. She does have a size, reach, and disadvantage in this one. She's 5'3", and with only a 63-inch reach advantage. She's on the shorter end of the strawweight division. This is going to recreate a recurring tactical problem. We really saw that evident in the Angela Hill fight. And then, coming off of, the talent in Brazil as opposed to the talent in the UFC is a very real thing, okay? Everybody's a badass in the UFC. It's kind of well documented. The pace is different. The opponent quality is different. And the judging standards are a little different as well. So that's going to be a very uphill battle for her. Carnelossi, on the other hand, she's also 3-3 in the UFC. She just is coming off of a submission loss to Taliata Alencar that happened in November. For those of you who don't know, she actually beat Ketlen Souza, starting out in Brazil. That happened. That was in 2019. She beat her via TKO. Big thing with Carnelossi, she's got elite Muay Thai and a very, very good stand-up arsenal. She uses all 8 tools very well, and especially in the clinch, whether it be her fists, knees, elbows. 9 out of her 15 wins are coming by KO. That's a 79% finish rate. Also, she's got good grappling credentials as well. We haven't really seen them used as much, but she's a legit BJJ black belt, and she's a national champion. She did get a rear naked choke finish. I think that was in UFC Fight 195. I forget who it was, but she did get it against Nunes in 195. Very good at pushing up her opponent against the cage. Good use of pressure fighting and forward aggression. Like I said, she's going to use that Muay Thai clinch to her advantage, whether it's knees or hooks are her most effective weapons in the clinch. On the other hand, she has very shitty takedown defense. 14% takedown defense. It's one of the lowest ones in the strawweight division. She does have some submission vulnerability, just like Ketlen Souza. Even though that she's a BJJ black belt, she doesn't really dictate the pace when it comes to the ground. Okay, like I said, she's been submitted twice as well. And then lastly, but not leastly, is when it comes to the stand-up routine, her strikes are kind of predictable in the fact that she's a big head hunter. 71% of her significant strikes are all going to the head, and they're kind of telegraphed. So if you're studying game film in that perception, 7 out of 10 times where she's going to aim. So for this one, I'm going to go with Ketlen Souza on this one. I think she's just going to be the overall better fighter in terms of athleticism. I think she was nowhere near the fighter that she was when she lost in 2019. I think she's definitely stepped her game up and is kind of like getting into her own right now. I think she's going to finish this one via submission, probably in the later rounds, round 3. So I'm going to go with Ketlen Souza. Our next fight up is going to be Jeisla Chaves taking on Yuneisy Duben in the women's flyweight division. Chaves is your minus 400 favorite, while Duben is your plus 310 underdog. Chaves is 1-0 in the UFC, plus she's undefeated all the way around. She's coming off a nice split decision win against Sofia Montenegro that happened back in September. What I like about her, she's got extreme durability and a very, very tough chin. She has an innate ability to absorb punishment, guys. I mean, she's been rocked a couple times, but keeps coming forward. Also, she's got good size and reach advantage as well. She's 5'6", 68-inch reach advantage. Most women in the flyweight division hover around the 5'3" to 5'5" range, so very good at keeping her opponent at bay via the range, whether it's jabs or teeps. Good advantage for her. One of her best technical advantages that I've seen is her footwork. It's really a good technical quality in the terms of when she was fighting Montenegro, she was able to cut off the cage really well, really developed, she's more developed in the movement game, I could tell. She's very, very comfortable in there. Even being with only, 6 professional MMA fights. Also, good finishing instinct. Both of her KOs have come via ground and pound. She doesn't have like one-punch knockout power, so when she finishes you, she can smell the blood in the water, and, again, we're going for that finish. Like I said, extreme inexperience on the other hand. Only 6 fights to date. Most women that when they reach the UFC level have like 10 to 15 fights. So, I mean, God bless her. She's doing well. She made it this far, so, we can't hate. In terms of the ground game, very untested. She's, from what I've read, she's got good BJJ skills, good credentials. It's untested, though. She doesn't have a submission win to her credit. She's on that Gomi's fight team, so her BJJ is good. It's legit. It's not bullshit. But again, I guess only time will tell. Duben, on the other hand, she's 1-1 in the UFC. She's coming off of a TKO loss to Carly Judice that happened in March. If you guys missed it on the Dana White Contender Series, she has an overhand right that is legit. It is a one-punch, one-hitter quitter. I mean, we're not talking a technique. It is an event. She is putting you to sleep with that, okay? I mean, what was that? I think it was against Shannon Clark, comes in with a low kick, and she just drops her with an overhand right. Awesome. She's also multifaceted and multidisciplined martial artist. She's got a black belt in both Taekwondo and Wushu. So she can kind of attack not only with her fists, but with her legs as well. Comes in at awkward angles, good footwork. She can definitely use her kicks to her advantage. Very good forward pressure and finishing mentality. Any of her fights, she's never left in the hands of the judges. She's got 100% finish rate, which is good. Chin durability, that's left to be a little bit desired, okay? She definitely has been damaged a couple of times. Carly Judice tested her chin, put her out, TKO loss. And she kind of has a one-dimensional offensive approach. If you can really stop her stand-up, she doesn't really have too much in the ground game per se, okay? She's really got that coming forward straight pattern at you. Doesn't really, she's coming for blood, going for the highlight reel knockouts. And, she's not really mixing it up too well. Very, very, I haven't seen too many transitional skills where she goes from striking to going for the takedown. Also, what I did see is she has multiple withdrawals and limited UFC experience. She had back-to-back withdrawals, over roughly a 6-month period. I don't know if that was mainly for physical reasons, mainly for personal reasons, but it is kind of a red flag that goes up in the air. I'm going to go with Chaves on this one. I'm going to say Chaves still remains undefeated. I think she gets it done. I think it's going to be a decision, though. I think it's going to go the full distance. Chaves is going to do what she can. She's going to get her on the ground. Maybe not, TKO her, but she does have the ability to submit her. We haven't seen it yet, but if I'm betting it, I'm saying it's going to go the distance. All right, next up, we got Jordan Leavitt taking on Joanderson Brito in the featherweight division. Leavitt is your plus 145 underdog, while Brito is your minus 175 favorite. Leavitt's 6-3 in the UFC. He's coming off of a good unanimous decision win against Yair Del Val. That happened in February. and he's riding a 2-fight win streak. Listen, shout out to the Monkey King, okay? He is coming into his zone. He's really showing the move that, he came from lightweight, now he's down to featherweight, really showing some potential, looks stronger in this division, okay? If you haven't noticed yet, he's got super elite submission games and creativities. He's got 7 submission wins, and they're coming from 7 different, completely different techniques. We're talking heel hooks, anaconda chokes, arm triangles, inverted triangles, and guillotines. Dude can literally sub you from anywhere, and he's always looking to finish you in that. He's got relentless wrestling and a good takedown volume. I think he's averaging 2.9 takedowns in 15 minutes, okay? That just pretty much reflects a guy who's shooting on his opponent rapidly. He's always trying to take you down. He's always trying to control you from the top or any position you can get a submission in, okay? He has that unorthodox movement, and by that I mean he comes in very low to the ground, super exaggerated level changes, and he approaches from unpredictable angles. It makes it very hard to stop, very hard to stuff. But he does have a downside, and I guess this is why he's the underdog in this one, essentially. His takedown accuracy, no wonder he's shooting so much, because he's only hitting 30% of his takedowns, which is crazy because that's where he's trying to get the fight to. But yeah, his takedowns can be stopped and stuff. If he's not like some elite wrestler, but he does have great submission skills, but he can be stuffed. Also, definitely does not have heavy hands, okay? He has 2 KOs to his credit, one being a ground and pound, and the other one was a KO slam that happened in 22 seconds, all right? They do not demonstrate a guy who's got some Mike Tyson level, Floyd Mayweather type boxing skills or some elite Muay Thai stuff, okay? He is going to try to submit you, hands down. I mean, that is the game plan 100%. Joanderson Brito, on the other hand, he's 6-3 as well in the UFC, coming off a unanimous decision win against Isaac Thompson in December of 2025. For those who don't know, Joanderson Brito was a professional boxer prior to becoming an MMA fighter. Okay, he's a 5-time state boxing champ, WBO, NBO, and IBF Latino Intercontinental title belts in his boxing career. Really good hands, really good combinations. Okay, he knows where. He's got really good accuracy too. He knows where to use his feints. Knows how to set up good combos. Okay, he has finished UFC level competition with his hands as well as ground and pound, and I think he has a ninja choke to his resume as well. So he's not a complete stranger to the ground. He can definitely get it done there. Can he get it done as well as Jordan Leavitt? To be determined, but it is what it is. Good leg volume and body attacks as well. When I think in his last fight, as much as he targeted the leg, I think it was like around 91 to 100% landing rates and actually that goes over multiple fights. He is coming to chew your legs up so you cannot move as well. And that is going to be a huge, huge plus if he can pull that against Jordan Leavitt. If he can take away Jordan Leavitt's legs, obviously that's going to reduce the amount of times he shoots or he pushes off his lead leg, all right? Takedown defense, unfortunately for Brito, sucks as well. Okay, Pat Sabatini landed a takedown on him in the first 15 seconds of the fight. And once your opponent gets top position on Joanderson Brito, he has a very, very tough time of getting his opponent off of him. Guys who really take charge in the wrestling department or who are elite wrestlers that can control them, those are the people that are going to defeat Joanderson Brito. Okay, he has a hard time getting them off, has a hard time resetting once he gives up control. Also, I love Leavitt's win streak here. I think he's really gotten momentum. I really think he's found a good place in the featherweight division. I'm going to say Leavitt gets it done. I'm going to say he's going to get it done by submission again. I think it's going to come later in the round. I think he's going to have to wear Joanderson Brito out a little bit, but I think he's going to get the submission in probably, I'd say, mid to late round 3. So we're going to go with Jordan Leavitt on this one. All right, next up in the women's division, we have a bantamweight bout. Priscilla Cachoeira is going to be facing Chelsea Chandler. Cachoeira is your plus 100 underdog, while Chandler is your minus 120 favorite. Cachoeira is 5-8 in the UFC. She's coming off unanimous decision to Claudia Saigula that happened in February, and she's riding a 2-fight losing streak. All right, guys, when I compare the stats of these two women fighting, it's almost semi-mirror images of the same fighter. I mean, if one of these girls loses, I'm assuming they're going to take the fast train to the PFL. I mean, I know the bantamweight women's division is kind of lacking in talent right now, but I mean, again, 5-8 and 2-3 are not getting it done at the UFC level. But we move on. Cachoeira is really good. She's got some, in terms of knockout power and finishing instinct. 8 of her 13 professional wins have come via TKO or KO. That's around 62%. So she can finish fights when she has the ability. She's good for relentless pressure, really, really good in terms of forward and pace. She can take the fight all 3 rounds if she needs to. Doesn't really take her foot off the gas tank. And good, and her chin is awesome. She can absorb a shit ton of strikes and still keep moving forward. Another good woman in terms of a Muay Thai clinch and short punching. She's super physically strong when it comes to getting her opponents against the cage. And she can move her, obviously she can dictate the pace if she gets that Muay Thai clinch. Not really flashy in that regard, but she's going to use her knees. She's going to use her elbows. Really good in close quarter distance. Does have some defensive holes in her game, especially when it comes to strike absorption. She eats about 7 significant strikes per minute when she's fighting. Not good, okay? That is, her chin can only hold up for so long. I mean, once it goes, it goes. She also struggles in 3-round bouts. I know she's got the cardio to take it there and finish it there, but when she goes to 3 rounds, she's 2-6. So if an opponent can out-volume strike her, she's in some trouble, okay? Also, very, very susceptible submissions. 4 of her 4 out of the 8 career losses are by submission. So if you get her to the ground, she's not the tightest when it comes to ground game or submission defense. Chandler, on the other hand, much like Cachoeira, she's fighting a losing streak too, 2-fight losing streak too. She's coming off a TKO loss to Jocelyn Edwards that happened in April. She's got the physical tools in terms of the advantage in this fight, in terms of size and reach. She's 5'8". She's got a 68-inch reach advantage. Good southpaw stance. Obviously, that's going to give Cachoeira some problems if she's not prepared for it. The jabs and the hooks come from awkward angles. Also, the kicks reach places that, orthodox fighters can't see. It's really hard to replicate them. Good takedown accuracy and top control as well. She converts around 60% of her takedowns. So again, now we're looking at a girl who, if she can convert the takedowns, and we got a girl who really can't do shit on the ground, who's got bad sub defense, this is looking more and more like Chelsea Handler all day long. She also has got a good, work in terms of she uses body shots really well and good striking arsenal too. Very good in terms of disrupting her opponent's rhythm, not just with straight shots with her hands, but good body kicks. But much like Cachoeira, she's got KO susceptibility and she absorbs a lot of shots. She doesn't take 7 a minute; she takes 4 strikes per minute, and she only defends 41% of her strikes. So she can get hit. So everybody's got a puncher's chance. There it is, right there for you. Okay, her submission game's still kind of underdeveloped at this point. She when she gets to the ground, she's more looking to do ground and pound than she is to hunt a submission. But again, if you're looking to get Cachoeira out of there, that is a clear path to victory. She's been sub 4 times before. We can get her if you work at it. Also, she loses decisions to technical strikers, much like Cachoeira. She's not a big volume girl, so she can eat a lot of shots and not return them. Okay. 3 of her 4 losses are coming by decision losses that when fights go to all 3 rounds. So I do think this one's going to go to the distance. If I'm prop betting this one, I'm definitely saying, yes, this fight is 100% going to, not 100%, but yes, this fight is going to go the distance more than likely. I'm going to say Chandler comes out on top. So Chandler for the win via decision. All right, the next fight out, we have Bruno Silva taking on Edgar Chairez in the flyweight division. Silva is your minus 132 favorite, while Edgar Chairez is your plus 104 underdog. All right, Silva's 5-5-1 in the UFC. He's coming off of a split decision loss against Charles Johnson that happened in March. What I like about him is the basis of his whole offensive attacks are his leg kicks and his body attack volume. He has leg kicks for days, and he throws them with some thunder, all right? His striking data is really, really, has a consistent pattern of targeting the legs. It's not his secondary tool. Like I said, it's the foundation of his offense. I mean, he's coming for fucking blood, all right? Really good BJJ black belt and good submission game, okay? He's got 5 submission wins to his credit. Definitely a good grappler who, he can chain takedowns together. Really good control in certain positions, and he hunts the neck. Good rear naked choke offense as well. That's usually his primary weapon, his go-to submission of choice as well. In terms of his past fights, if you look at it when he fought Manel Kopp and Joshua Van, he was really competitive there for a couple rounds until it went to the later championship rounds. But I mean, he landed some good shots on both of those guys, and both of those guys are high-level strikers, okay? He's got pace and pressure for days. He can really take you to a 3-round, all 3 rounds. He can last for 5 rounds in the championship rounds, but that's really when he fades. That's kind of one of his Achilles heels. If it goes to the championship rounds of the 4th and 5th round against guys who are elite strikers and guys who can find his chin, he's going to get put out, okay? 3 of his 4 losses are by KO or TKO. Like I said, doing that high pace, it comes at a cost. When you come and you eat, a certain amount of shots, you leave yourself open to counter strikes. Also, decision losses to high volume strikers as well. That's a big thing with him in terms of, he doesn't look, he can throw really heavy hands, but he doesn't throw enough of them, okay? He kind of is waiting to throw that picture perfect shot to get that highlight knockout, where in terms of, he's not throwing a, high volume amount of stuff, okay? Really can do distance effectively, but again, we're looking really hard to throw those haymakers. Also, in terms of the physical capabilities, for the intangibles, he's 5'4". He only has a 65-inch reach advantage, or disadvantage, I should say. He's one of the smaller guys in the flyweight division. Chairez, on the other hand, he's 5'7" with a 71-inch reach advantage. So he's definitely, in that department, we're falling short a little bit. Chairez is 3-2-1 in the UFC. He's coming off of a split decision win against Felipe Bunes that happened in February. And he's riding a 2-fight win streak, all right? He's never been knocked out, and he's got very, very good submission skills, okay? 8 out of his 13 wins are coming via submission, okay? Really good prolific submission hunting ability, really good in the flyweight division, okay? Like I said, good physical size, good physical tools, very long limbs, can effectively take use triangles and body locks really well. And he's got a really good high finishing rate, which I really like too. I think he's finished, he's finished all of his fights except for one, okay? Really good, he's good at striking. He's not the greatest at striking, but he's got very, very solid hands, good in the clinch, and really good ground and pound as well, okay? Also, his head movement is pretty solid as well as his counter striking, okay? His ability to use both of those to win striking exchanges and not losing rounds, very, very top level. Not elite yet, but very good top level, and it's good for submission hunting as well. It shows that he's not really one-dimensional. Takedown defense is a little bit left to be desired. He's got a 33% takedown defense, very below average for the UFC flyweight division. Felipe Bunes really illustrated the fact that he can take him down, really create danger when he gets somebody on top, or Bunes created danger for him when he got on top of him. Okay, had a kind of a hard time with active wrestlers having control. Also, in terms of takedown completions as well, I know he's a submission hunter, but he's very, very low takedown rate. He's got a 15% takedown completion rate. Definitely not elite wrestling capability, and you're definitely going to need a ton of that to get Bruno Silva down. Like I said, Bruno Silva is an elite BJJ practitioner, and he's going to be hard to submit if that's what you're going for. Okay, against elite grapplers, we did see Chairez. That's when his losses come to. Guys, if he can't get the submission and he can't get off of plan A, he does have a plan B, which is the striking. It's not his best plan, but he can still execute that. But guys who can control him on the ground and really use that positional dominance, those are the guys that get him in trouble. I'm going to take the underdog in this one. I am going to say Chairez gets the win. I'm going to say Chairez gets the win in round 2. I think he does have enough of the skills to tap out Silva. I know like I said, he's an elite BJJ practitioner, but Chairez is riding a 2-fight streak, and he's looking really, really good. So I'm going to go with the underdog on this one. I'm going to say Chairez. All right, next up we have Marcus McGhee taking on John Yannis in the bantamweight division. McGhee's your minus 550 favorite, while Yannis is your plus 400 underdog. All right, McGhee is 4-1 in the UFC. He's just coming off a unanimous decision loss to Peter Yan that happened in July of 25. What's not to like about Marcus McGhee, right? He's got elite striking and great KO power, all right? He lands 6 significant strikes a minute, and which puts him right up at the elite level of the bantamweight division in terms of striking. His output and accuracy is awesome, all right? 8 out of his 10 wins are coming by KO. Also, up until the Peter Yan fight, he showed and displayed really good takedown defense. Wrestlers have a really hard time taking him down, obviously. Peter Yan is a champion for a reason. That's to be expected. Okay. You can stop Peter Yan. Obviously, you're going to be the champion, right? Good pace and pressure, good 3-round endurance. Like I said, output is there for 6 rounds, 6 significant strikes a minute. Okay. He doesn't gas out. He stays on you for the full fight. Unfortunately, there are some holes in his game. He's got a late start to the professional MMA game, guys. He started when he was 29 in 2020. Okay. It could go either way. Think about it in this terms of, hey, I fought Peter Yan and I'm 30 something years old, and is that the best I'm ever going to do? Or, hey, I fought the best, I lost, but I can go back at it, and I didn't look, I got dominated, but I didn't get knocked out, I didn't get finished, so I know I can hang in there with the best, right? He's on the shorter end of the bantamweight division in terms of his reach. I think he's got an only 69-inch reach advantage, or reach. Yannis has got the advantage, but not by much. I think it's by only like an inch and a half, so it's not the craziest thing in the world. He does have one career loss in terms of submissions. I think that came in 2022, obviously 4 years ago. His ground game is actually developed. He does have submission to his resume. He has finished via submission before. Yannis, on the other hand, he's 1-1 in the UFC. He's coming off a pretty good TKO win against Jamie Siraj. And if you've watched him, you know that he has walk-off power, especially in his left hand. The left cross, it's not a freak punch. It's consistent, it's repeating, and it's coming for your soul, okay? Like I said, he's a southpaw, and McGhee's orthodox. So it's going to be hard seeing that left hand coming. I mean, obviously he's going to study game film. That's going to be the one dynamic weapon that John Yannis has, and that's, it can definitely turn your lights out. Like I said, he does have a reach advantage. It's only 1.5 inches, but it's not the biggest thing in the world, but it's still an advantage nonetheless. Much like McGhee, he's a very good forward pressure guy, very good attacking your body over multiple rounds, okay? He's not looking just for an early finish. He's looking to pressure you and pretty much, expose you in terms of like the Muay Thai level of get you, make the fight dirty, get you up against the cage, get a clinch going, dirty boxing, really cut off the cage and demobilize his opponent. The other hand is that's kind of like his, he's a one-trick pony. He's kind of have that one tool in the toolbox, if you will, right? One-dimensional. Okay, not really good developing on the ground game. Doesn't really look for takedowns too much. Not really transitional in that aspect, and he does have some submission vulnerability. Okay, we've seen when opponents get his back, it is almost guaranteed lights out. That's why I think Marcus McGhee is going to take this one. I'm not going to say via TKO. I think Marcus McGhee is going to find a way to get into the ground and sub him. I'm going to say this happens either late round 1 or round 2. I think Marcus McGhee's got, I think he can finish and take this fight anywhere he wants to go. Obviously, he's going to try to look for the knockout, but I think, if you're going to go with the safe game plan, John Yannis doesn't really have good takedown D, and his ground game is, completely lacking. So I'm going to say Marcus McGhee subs this one. I'm going to say round 2 for this one. All right, our featured prelim of the night is Matt Danger Schnell taking on the late replacement Alessandro Costa at a catch weight of 130 pounds. Schnell's still your plus 550 underdog, while your Costa is your minus 800 favorite. Schnell is 7-1 in the UFC. He's coming off a submission loss to Joseph Morales that happened November 2025. All right, I'm a big fan of Matt Schnell. I'm always rooting for the underdog. I've been a fan of him ever since he was on the MTV show. I forget what the hell it was called, but still really good. Always rooting for the underdog. Unfortunately, time is catching up to my boy, okay? He's 1-4 in his last 5 fights. I know he's got really good submission depth. He's got good submission variety. That's kind of pretty much the basis of his whole offensive game. He does have a good karate background, which helps his footwork. I think he's a black belt, good at taking away angles, really good at changing his entries. Again, it's more of a linear thing than side to side. Also, not too much he hasn't really seen in the UFC, okay? Very good, mature as far as when it comes to tactical discipline. And he's, like I said, he's fought 15 fucking times in the UFC, okay? He can plan for everything, okay? He's getting up there. Good conditioning, good late round cardio, can take the fight all 3 rounds. He's not gassing out. And the biggest other thing is he's got that unorthodox movement and angle, which is straight from that karate base, okay? backstepping, again, not really, kind of using that Stephen Thompson point fighting system in terms of like getting in, getting out, getting in, getting out. Okay. He draws his opponents into range before moving off the center line, and then he just, kind of initiates the grappling at unexpected times. Again, downside, he's 36 years of age, physical decline. He's not seeing the punches come as fast as they used to be. His chin durability is almost gone, guys. It's 5 career losses by KO or TKO, and against high level grapplers, Matt Schnell is not getting the job done. Okay, people who put him in a guillotine, that is his kryptonite. That is his vulnerability. That's the number one submission that he loses to. Okay, I know I think he's only a purple belt in terms of BJJ. So guys with high level grappling in terms of submissions, again, can take him there. Costa, on the other hand, he's 3-3 in the UFC, coming off of a good KO win against Stuart Nickel that happened in April. All right, he's very, very systematic and planned when it comes to his point of attack, okay? He's a fighter that plans specific finishes, he drills them, and he executes them under pressure. Prime example, he's looking for liver shots. He's looking to shut you down via body strikes, okay? He wants his opponents to defend the head so he can open up the body, and he's really good and really accurate at finding that, okay? Performance of the night every single time he's fought in the UFC. 3 UFC wins, 3 performance of the night bonuses. Okay, who did he get? He's got KO of Kevin Borjas that happened in UFC 301. Okay, he's got a ground and pound KO of Jimmy Flick, and then he's got, again, like the liver shot of Stuart Nickel. Excuse me. Good takedown D. 83% accuracy, or 83% in terms of that in that department. Chin durability, little left to be desired. Okay, he's got 3 losses. They all come via KO. 50%, losing rate in terms of that. Okay. Schnell, he's got a puncher's chance. He's not really known for his power in his hands, but again, Costa's chinny. All right. In terms of Costa, he has yet to stack up wins. He's very win-loss. Super, super unreliable in that department, okay? It's very hard for him to string 2 wins together. And he's in the shorter end of the stick for this division. He's 5'4". He's only got a 67-inch reach. He's definitely shorter than Matt Schnell. Snell's 5'8" with a 70-inch reach advantage. So, the physical advantage is going to Matt Schnell, but I'm still going Alessandro Costa in this one. I think Alessandro Costa, personally, I think he's going to TKO him in round 1, mid to late round 1, but I think this isn't going in. This fight is definitely not going to the distance. If you're going to build a parlay, I would say build a parlay off of this fight. Listen, the odds aren't obviously going to be great for the parlay, but it's something to build on. So Costa, by finish, I'm going to say round 1 TKO. All right, we have arrived at the main card. Our first fight of the night is in the light heavyweight division. We have Baraniewski taking on Junior Tafa. Baraniewski is a minus 295 favorite, while Junior Tafa is a plus 220 underdog. All right, if you guys haven't seen Baraniewski fight, he is a fucking monster so far. One of the best prospects the light heavyweight division has seen in a while. He's 3-0 in the UFC, and he's undefeated all around the board, okay? He just is coming off of the sick TKO win against Austin Lane that happened in March. For those of you not in the know, Austin Lane got his walking papers from the UFC. He's no longer with the promotion. Sorry about that. He has not seen a fight. Iwo has not been past the first round in his UFC tenure, man. He's knocked out every single person in the first round, okay? He's got hands for days. And the crazy part is that's not really one of his biggest, tools in the toolbox, okay? He has elite judo base. That's one of the things that we haven't seen. We haven't even seen that in his arsenal yet, but he is phenomenal. He's got a bronze medal at the 2018 Junior World Judo Games. Say that 5 times fast, okay? And he's good from striking from the ground, okay? Good amateur background, Gamma World Champions. That's like the U18 of MMA in Europe, for those of you who follow that. Downside of Iwo, though, if you want to put it that way, very limited sample size in terms that he only has 8 professional MMA fights. He does have all that stuff for the amateurs, but again, in terms of pro fights, very limited sample size. He's never been tested beyond the first round. So if Junior Tafa can make it past the first round, we're still unsure if Baraniewski's got the gas tank to take it past the second or even the third round as well. Okay, training environment's still a little left to be desired. Not desired, I should say, but we don't know if it's hit the ceiling or not. He's staying in Warsaw. He's all about that. He's loyal to that. He's not going to one of the premier gyms. I'm sure he's been invited or trained with some of those guys in the top tier gyms. But, I mean, again, he's staying at home base. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? He's 3-0 for a reason. All right. Tafa, on the other hand, he is 3-5 in the UFC. He's coming off of a TKO win against Kevin Christian. For those of you who don't know, Junior Tafa, very good glory kickboxing career. I mean, that's before he was in the UFC and MMA. He was putting people away in glory kickboxing, okay? He was 23-5, and he's got hands and feet for days, okay? Definitely he's got really good KO power and good finishing instincts, all right? He's 6'3". He's got a 75-inch reach advantage. On the other hand, submission vulnerable, okay? His ground game is not there, okay? It is not developed either. Very also leg kick vulnerable too. If you looked at the fight against Kevin Christian before he was put away was eating up Tafa's leg. He was landing those kicks left and right, okay? I got to give credit for Tafa though. I mean, he's active, you know what I mean? He fought Billy Elicana in January in 2026. He lost by submission, okay? Then he fights in May 2026, just 3 months later. And now he's fighting now, okay? And just on June 6th, which is like 35 days later. I mean, I know he wants to get back in there, but I mean, it's not like he's crushing opponents left and right. You know, it's kind of win-loss, win-loss. But hey, all the power to him for getting back in there at 35 days notice. Yeah, I'm going Baraniewski winning this one, TKO. I think it's going to continue the train, okay? Round 1, TKO. This fight's going to be over quick. Maybe a curveball. He might use his judo skills in this one, so he might get a submission. That might happen in maybe late round 1, but I do not think this fight is going past round 1 at all. So I'm saying round 1, TKO, Baraniewski still remaining undefeated. All right, next up, we have Bryce Mitchell taking on Santiago Luna in the bantamweight division. Bryce Mitchell is your minus 145 favorite, while Santiago Luna is your plus 120 underdog. Santiago Luna answered the UFC's bat signal, taking on Bryce Mitchell in a short notice fight. Mitchell's 9-3 in the UFC. He's coming off of a very impressive unanimous decision win against Said Nurmagomedov that happened in July. He's got elite wrestling and solid cage control. Wrestling is the cornerstone of Bryce Mitchell's offense. It is everything that he does. He starts and ends his offense there. He's got great cage control, not a passive wrestler at all. He is looking to take you down to the ground. He's going to shoot multiple times throughout the fight. And he's not looking to ground and pound you. He's looking to submit you. Okay, he's got a very, very depth and submission variety. Excuse me. Definitely not looking just, he doesn't have one submission that it's his go-to, okay? He's got 9 career submission wins across 21 fights. He likes hunting the Kimura from the top position. Obviously, we've seen him pull off a twister before, and when he gets back control, it's rear naked chokes all day long, okay? Sits in the southpaw stance. Really hard for orthodox fighters to time his shots, so it's hard to see what angle he's coming from in terms of that. Also, but his striking is one-dimensional. He has 1 KO win across 21 professional fights. Okay, if he cannot get his offense going in terms of wrestling, the plan B for striking is not looking too good. Okay, as we've seen in the past, especially against Josh Emmett, put him in the shadow realm. He's KO vulnerable. We've seen him get put out before. Okay, I mean, listen, not too many people hit hard like Josh Emmett, but again, Bryce Mitchell can be finished on the feet. And we have seen Bryce Mitchell. This is a big transition to him in terms of weight class. He's fought at, he's only fought at bantamweight once. We don't know how much the weight cut affects him. I mean, he looked good when he was doing interviews and everything. He's a professional. He hasn't missed weight in any of his fights. So, but again, does he pack more power in bantamweight, or is he slower in bantamweight? It's yet to be decided. Santiago Luna, on the other hand, he's 2-0. He's undefeated. Coming off a unanimous decision win against Angel Pacheco that happened in February. Elite Greco-Roman wrestling base. Okay, he's a 4-time Mexican national champion, 2-time Pan American Games qualifier, and a 2-time World Championship qualifier. Okay, he's got Olympic level Greco-Roman wrestling. Does that translate so much to defending jiu-jitsu? It can and it can't. I mean, obviously, you're trained not to get taken off your feet. But again, Bryce Mitchell, this is his cornerstone of his offense. He's got the experience. He's got, Santiago Luna's only been fighting for a little bit, okay? Bryce Mitchell, he's seen the best. And if he can take Said Nurmagomedov down, I'm thinking he can take Santiago Luna down as well, okay? Luna's got the reach advantage, okay? He's got a 4-inch reach advantage over Mitchell that's going to be helping him out when it comes in depths of his jabs in terms of superior control in top position. And it's going to make Mitchell harder to establish the inside position, especially when he's trying to go the single leg takedown route, okay? Big fight composure and good resilience. Anybody who watched the Quang Lei fight, he rocked Santiago Luna with a very, very solid head kick, okay? He had him on easy street for a little bit. He had wobbly legs. Luna maintained his composure, regathered himself, and he came back and he won the fight. It kind of defined his career so far up to date in the UFC, okay? He produced a fight-changing left hook and basically, had a ground and pound to win it. But again, we're fighting Bryce. Bryce Mitchell is, he's no spring chicken. He's seen a lot. I'm going to go with the upset on this one. I think Luna's got the hands to do it, to beat Bryce Mitchell. I think, Luna is undefeated for a reason. I think he's got really good boxing, and I think his takedown defense is going to be the story to be told in this fight. So I'm going to say Santiago Luna wins this one by decision. I think it's going to go. Actually, no, take that back. Santiago Luna wins this one, second round TKO, maybe early in the second, late in the second, early in the third. I think Luna's going to put him away. This is my underdog pick for the night. So, yeah, Santiago Luna for this one. All right, we're going to the lightweight division. We have number 14th ranked Faraz Ziam taking on Tom Nolan. Faraz Ziam is your minus 300 favorite, while Tom Nolan is your plus 240 underdog. Ziam is 8-2 in the UFC. He's riding a nice 6-fight win streak, coming off of a solid TKO win against Nazim Sadikov that happened in December. Like I said, very good striking from Faraz Ziam. Elite physical dimensions and really utilizes his reach real well. He's 6'1", 75-inch reach. Puts him in a very small group of lightweights that are that size. Unfortunately, doesn't really help him against Tom Nolan. Tom Nolan's 6'3" with a 76-inch reach advantage, so Tom Nolan's a little bit bigger than him. But it helps him control the octagon, really helps him manage distance pretty well, especially for Ziam, who's like a kickboxer and Muay Thai guy by trade. Very good technical precision strikes, okay? His combination work is high volume and it's not wild swinging, okay? It's really sequenced kickboxing. If you watch his fight, he's got good KO power with his right hand and really good knees when we're talking about the Muay Thai discipline, okay? What I do like, what kind of surprised me a little bit is, he's not known for his wrestling, but ever since he's been training at Killcliff, he's doing pretty good in the takedown and wrestling department, okay? He faces elite grapplers and wrestlers and really produced functional takedowns throughout his career. And he's pretty good when he gets on top. His top control ability, really complements his striking pretty well. Everybody has got a downside. Unfortunately, he is submission vulnerable. 3 of his 4 professional losses have come by submission, okay? Kind of spans throughout his career. People who can force Ziam to scramble or, shoot and take his back, that's a no-go zone for Faraz Ziam, okay? He kind of starts his first rounds late, kind of waits to get going, okay? If somebody pressures him, first and fast, he does not get off fast, okay? Likes to get started in the early second, mid-second go, okay? He wants to establish his range. He wants to measure his opponents before really committing to those power shots. But that's going to hurt you in the long run if the fights go to the decision, okay? It's all about volume rather than damage in terms of, if you can't hit damaging shots and the other guy's just landing volume, then you're kind of SOL, okay? Like I said, submission vulnerable, especially when somebody takes his back or rear naked chokes, okay? His long frame does not help him in that department, okay? People can, attack his limbs a little bit better, or a little bit more, use additional leverage. It's something that he can't control, but hey, it is what it is. Tom Nolan, on the other hand, the big train, he is 4-1 in the UFC, coming off of a nice submission win against Charlie Campbell. That happened in September. And he himself is riding a nice win streak. It's 4-fight win streak. Like I said, he's bigger than Faraz Ziam. He's 6'3" and a 76-inch reach advantage. Essentially, he is a middleweight fighting in the lightweight division, okay? He is a fucking big dude for that division, okay? And it kind of shows. He's got that southpaw stance, and he's got a left hand that will put you into the shadow room, okay? Okay, his height kind of makes him difficult to hit. It's really hard to slip his punches, okay? Especially, like I said, his left hand, especially his left cross, brutal, okay? Good at creative and unpredictable attack sequences. He mixes his high and low attacks pretty well, alternating between head and body. Doesn't like to lead toward one target, okay? Not a big sequence guy, okay? He likes to switch it up a bunch, okay? That's really hard for, orthodox guys to track. Can get hit quite a bit. He's open to counter shots. He's willing to eat shots like it's pretty much in terms of I'll eat one if I can I'll eat two or three if I can get off my good left hand, or if I can eat, if I can shoot a shot, or basically, make you eat a power punch. Okay. Not really good, that great of footwork, not really good at getting off the center line. And then, his chin durability is, it's there, but it's, if you keep getting hit, it's going to be not there for long. Okay. His technical striking is not where it kind of needs to be. His head's, he doesn't like his head exiting after combinations. It's very inconsistent. And his level changes under pressure aren't really systematic. Okay. They're not where they need to be yet. Okay. Grappling, ceiling, submissions, not there for Tom Nolan. His take, when he was fighting Borshev, I think he landed one, or out of 8 attempts, he only landed one takedown. Okay. His wrestling game is not there. He's in some trouble. I'm going to go with the odds on this one. I'm going to say Farazian's going to take this one. I think he's going to get the TKO in the second. Farazian's striking, I think, is on a whole nother level. But if Tom Nolan can get the upset, he's definitely going to be in the ranks, going to at least break the top 15. But I'm saying Farazian, if he wins this one, we got to get him a ranked fighter at this point. He's got to at least go get somebody in the top 10. But I'm going to go for Farazian on this one, second round TKO. All right, guys, we're on to the co-main. We have number 4, Brendan Allen taking on Edmund Shabazian. Allen's your minus 240 favorite, while Shabazian is your plus 195 underdog. All right, Allen is 14-4 in the UFC, coming off of a very, very solid win against Renner de Ritter in a TKO victory that happened in October, riding a solid 2-fight win streak. As we all know, Brendan Allen has an elite submission game, super legit BJJ black belt. And we're talking in terms of like black belt, he's not a passive guy. He's actively looking for submissions, especially from top control. And I think it's under Daniel Vanderlei is the guy, is his teacher, but, he does not produce passive ground control. Okay, we are looking for submissions at all time. Allen is 6'2" with a 75-inch reach, which is kind of freakish. He's got a very solid jab. Kind of can land before Edwin Shabazian if he tries, can fully counter it. Really good at the clinch, too. Looks for guillotines, especially from the front headlock position. And, he's got the mechanical advantage when he can wrap his longer arms around his opponent's necks from a superior angle, too. Very high volume striking and above average accuracy. Okay, I know he's not primarily a striker. That's what he's known for, but got a pretty good 53% accuracy. And that's well above the average for the middleweight division, which is around 40 to 45%. Okay. Puts a respectable rate of 3.5 significant strikes a minute, and his jab is the centerpiece to his striking game. Okay, that's really other than his offensive BJJ game, everything comes off of his jab. Other than being extremely vulnerable to guys who are coached from Extreme Couture, he does have losses to elite wrestlers and high volume output guys. Specifically in 2024, you looked at his fight against Nasruddin Imanov and Anthony Hernandez in 2025 in February. Both these guys sustained high volume outputs during rounds. They were both putting it on him across all 3 rounds, and Brendan Allen couldn't match their pace. Okay. Also for his takedown defense too. He's only defending about 58% of his takedowns. It's respectable, but it's not elite. Especially he's not going to get the job done against guys who are really high level grapplers, or you're fighting for that number 1 spot. We do see he does have some KO vulnerability to him as well, and that does not suit his game against Edwin Shabazian. Edwin Shabazian is built for power, and he's built for KO knockouts, especially in the early rounds. Okay, we saw Brendan Allen get knocked out to Izzy Adesanya. That happened in 2020. Shabazian, on the other end, we're seeing a little bit of a career resurgence with him. Okay, he's 9-5. He's coming off of a KO win against Andre Muniz that happened in October, and he himself is riding a solid 3-fight win streak. He's got some first-round finishing power, boys and girls. He's got a good, respectable kickboxing, okay? 13 of his 16 wins have come by KO, which is around 81%. And, what's he landed? Like 73, I think he has an average fight time of 7 minutes, or like closer to like 7 minutes or 8 minutes, which means, he typically gets it done before the second round is over. Really good karate-based striking and precision body work. It's not brute force. It's really technically structured, more of like I said, a kickboxing route. Like I said, it's karate, but I think he's like a black belt in Shotokan karate. His combinations are more fluid between body and head, not really looking for the one-hitter quitters or haymakers, okay? The biggest knock on Shabazian is his cardio, and it kind of follows the specific pattern. In round 1, he does really well, and round 2, he's less productive, a little less accurate with his strikes. And then if the fight goes to round 3, we are putting him out of there. He is not lasting, okay? That is the big knock on Edmund Shabazian. Also, we're seeing a step up in competition. I mean, we're going literally from 3, he had 3 solid wins. Those guys are nowhere near the Brendan Allen at number 4. Okay, Brendan Allen is legit, and he's number 4 for a reason. We're going to have Edmund Shabazian is really going to have to put it on him in round 1 if he wants to get this W, okay? Much like Brendan Allen, he is KO susceptible. 3 of his 5 career losses have come by KO or TKO. Allen's got good ground and pound sequences, which, kind of puts Shabazian in a little bit of danger for me, He didn't knock out Renner to Ritter, obviously, but he did hit him enough so that Ritter didn't get off the stool. So, I think that's kind of disconcerting. But I'm liking Brendan Allen in this one. I'm thinking Brendan Allen's going to get the submission win in this one. I'm going to say he takes him into deep waters and really, takes him out in round 3. I don't think Shabazian can hang with him in terms of cardio, and he definitely does not have the ground game. I also think Brendan Allen can defend at least what he needs to do, the high-level striking in round 1 to take him into deep water. So I'm saying Allen by submission, round 3. All right, boys, we have reached the main event. We are going to get Belal Muhammad taking on Gabriel Bonfim in the welterweight division. Belal Muhammad is ranked number 5, while Gabriel Bonfim is number 11. Muhammad is your minus 125 favorite, while Gabriel Bonfim is your plus 100 underdog. All right, remember the name. He's 15-5 in the UFC. He's coming off of a decision loss to Ian Machado Gary that happened in November, and he's riding a 2-fight losing streak. I know he's riding a 2-fight losing streak, but the 2 fights that he lost to, dude, those guys are elite of the elite, okay? It's not like he's losing to guys in the bottom ranked, 13th, 15th ranked guys. Carlos Pratas and Ian Machado Gary, those 2 guys are legit. But more on the positive side, Belal Muhammad, elite takedown defense, a 90% clip for a takedown defense, okay? He denies the opponents the ability to take the fight to the mat, that's Bonfim's bread and butter, okay? That he dictates the pace, and he wants to take this fight into the championship rounds. He wants to make it dirty and a grinding fight. He's all about high volume pressure striking and relentless pace. Muhammad's whole identity is built off around volume, okay? It's the pressure game that works through accumulation, all right? He's going to get you up against the cage. He's going to try to take you down and just assert dominance and assert damage from the top position, okay? He's an elite grappler. As we've seen, that's how he won the belt in the first place, okay? He keeps his opponents in a tactical double bind. They cannot fully commit to counter-striking or because he's going to level change and just take you down to the ground and hold you there, okay? That is Belal Muhammad's game plan in a nutshell, okay? The problem, as we saw in the Machado fight, is if he cannot take you to the ground, he does not really have a plan B. He is kind of SOL. Gary denied his takedowns, and Belal Muhammad looked lost. All right, he was put himself up for counter striking and was and also was his accuracy for striking wasn't that great. Anyway, I think it was around 43%, which is very, very below the average. Also, Belal Muhammad does not have hands to put you out either. He's very, very low KO rate, not really stringing good combinations together. And unfortunately, age is a factor for Belal Muhammad. He's getting up there, okay? Like I said, he's not really good in adjusting the game plan when it presents itself. Can't get the takedown, not really good too much in the striking department. Gabriel Bonfim, on the other hand, he is 6-1 in the UFC. He's coming off of a solid TKO win against Randy Brown that happened in November, and he's riding a 4-fight win streak. Gabriel Bonfim is a legit black belt. He's never been submitted in the UFC, and he's got the deepest submission library, I would say, in the whole welterweight division, okay? He's got 13 career submission wins over 19 professional victories, okay? And these submissions can come from everywhere. His technique is varied across a number of ways. Good striking development. What we did see is, against Randy Brown, his calf kicking game really developed as well as his boxing, okay? The calf kicking pretty much set up his whole offense. He really hit Randy Brown's lead leg with good calf strikes around round one, kind of forced him to change his whole approach, and then he was able to produce clinches and good knees and take him out, which produced the knockout, okay? He's also younger than Belal Muhammad. He hasn't hit the ceiling yet. Gabriel Bonfim's still 28 years of age, guys. He's got a long way to go, in terms of physicality and still developing some of his skills. Downside, he has not been tested in the championship rounds. That is where Belal Muhammad lives, okay? He lives to take you in those deep waters, okay? I think he averages, time of 8 minutes 19 across 7 fights, which is pretty much, that's an average of 2 rounds going into the fight. He has not seen a third too many times, and he's definitely not seen a fourth or a fifth. He does have one professional KO loss that happened to Nicholas Dalby, but that happened 3 years ago in November of 2023. Nicholas Dalby caught him in the second round with a TKO. I don't think that's happening here. I don't think Belal Muhammad possesses the striking capability to knock him out. I mean, obviously he's got a puncher's chance, but, Belal Muhammad, we all know his game plan. He's going to look to take you down, okay? Bonfim can get taken down, and elite wrestling can get him in some trouble, okay? I know that, submission hunting requires you to get to specific positions, and getting those positions against Muhammad is going to be hard for him, okay? Belal Muhammad has seen it all. He's got a very vast variety of experience, and he's only lost 5 times in his whole career, okay? It's going to be very hard to get the submission off from Belal Muhammad. I'm going to go with odds on this one. I'm going to say Belal Muhammad wins this one. I'm going to say this one goes the distance. I don't think he's getting submitted. I don't think he's going to get a flash knockout either. I don't think Bonfim's getting a flash knockout, but I think Belal Muhammad has at least the cage experience to, set the pace and take the fight where he wants to go. I don't think he's going to get, I think it might be in trouble in round 1, but I think Belal Muhammad has the gas tank to really set the pace. So I'm going to say Belal Muhammad goes the distance, gets off this 2-fight losing streak. All right, guys, that's it for today's card. If you like what you hear and like what you're seeing, drop a comment in the comment section. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And hey, come for the picks and stay for the parlays.